We bought this 50-year-old semi-truck off Facebook Marketplace for $10,000. We're planning to turn this thing into the biggest, baddest mobile shop truck to pull all of our project vehicles. Unfortunately, right now, it is a project vehicle.
This front filter, for some reason, has blown the gasket out.
And the brakes, everything like is good
Brakes
on it?
were all redone on it, but that was a long time ago.
That doesn't work right now?
That does not work right now. I doubt it works.
Yeah.
24 quarts, probably about 500.
A tire?
Yeah, a tire.
When I bought Big Time Bud here, my wandering eye may have got the best of me. And now, there's potential I'm sitting on a huge financial mistake. So today, I'm gonna see how bad I really messed up, start fixing this thing before we can really start modifying it.
And get it out of my backyard.
Welcome to Big Time. I'm in a new chapter of my life. Yes, I did just buy a semi-truck. Yes, I did just quit the best job I've probably ever had. And no, I'm not in therapy. I probably should be in therapy because I can't stop spending money on project vehicles. Hence, the knockoff Fruit Loops. And now, the initial excitement is wearing off. Reality is setting in, and I got me a case of post-truck clarity. Whether it's a semi-truck, someone's project car, or your grandma's Chrysler LeBaron, anytime you buy something this old, there's gonna be some problems with it. The key is to find those problems before you buy it. There's a checklist you're supposed to run through, and the little Jeremiah inside of me got too excited and did nothing on that checklist. And now there's a 50-year-old semi-truck the size of Joby's house in his backyard. Post-truck clarity is a mother. So today we're gonna go through that list. And on top of it, we have the health of our engine. It's the heart of Bud over there and gonna be the most costly thing to fix if anything's wrong with it. But unfortunately for us, we just can't pop the hood like a normal car. We have to fix this piece before we can even get to it.
What's legal?
Don't worry about that.
I'm kind of worried about it.
This is a hydraulic hand pump, and it's meant to tilt this cab forward so we can get access to the engine. Now, this is the original unit that was on this truck when we bought it, and the seals are blown out in it. Because of that, we weren't able to tilt this cab forward to get a better look at the engine. Now, you might be wondering, well, this cab is actually tilted forward a little bit. Why is that? Well, I thought swapping this thing out would be just a quick, simple, easy job. No need to film it because nothing could go wrong. Well, a lot of crap went wrong. The initial install actually went pretty well. I was able to get the new pump in relatively quick, and we got a sneak peek of our engine for the very first time.
It's kind of scary. Oh God. Yes. No problem. Ooh, is that a penny? Look at this. Oh boy.
Now we're in
The steering shaft.
just telescopes out.
This is wild. Gotta be a huge hole to make that happen. And there's the supercharger.
This is just the vent hose.
Jesus. Bigger. Look at that fan. Oh my God. Look at the shift linkage.
I know.
It's just a fucking rod.
But then we ran into some issues. Once I pushed the cab forward and I tried to bring it back down, one of the rams that actually pushes the cab back up completely bent and broke. And then one of the hydraulic lines that goes from the pump to the ram burst. So Joby and I devised a little ratchet strap rig, and we were able to temporarily set the cab down on one of Bud's spare tires.
Perfect. Good. Nice work, dude.
I ordered a new ram and had to go get some new lines made. 500 bucks down the drain. 3 days later, we're finally going to take a real look at this engine.
God, you're so strong.
I know. All right, Joey, here we are. Look at this thing. Whoa! Now that we have our hydraulic tilt system figured out, we get a better look at this engine.
Hey, look at that fresh ram over there. This thing is large.
Yeah, so one of the things I
Your
noticed...
intake looked like HVAC from a building.
yeah, that big, that nice big stack up there, that's our air filter. We're gonna have to change that.
I said a word bad too.
Yeah. We have a 2-stroke twin-charged diesel engine.
That's the coolest thing I ever heard.
Super cool. This thing makes about 1,000 foot-pounds of torque at like 1,200 RPM. It could pull a literal house.
Yeah, I mean, everything is just bigger.
Yeah. We got our turbo right here.
Yeah.
We have our roots blower right here. So we have a supercharger right there, a turbo right here.
Are these the oil filters for engine oil?
These are fuel filters.
Aha, I was gonna say, see the little small, where's that? Oh, there's that big mother.
The big honker underneath is
That
the
thing
oil
takes
filter.
a gallon itself.
This is cool. Look, little.
What's that? Just a little, no! Just a little crankcase vent? Yeah, I knew that hurt. You played that off for a sec, man.
That hurt. Oh.
All right, I keep forgetting this is a V6.
Yeah, this is a
That's
V6. Now, one thing I noticed, Job, is that I actually found the original listing for this truck.
Oh, you mean the guy before Wayne?
Before Wayne, so
Oh,
Bud.
yeah.
Bud was selling this truck with his sandrail dragster.
Oh, man.
And in the ad listing, it said it was a 6V92TA. Wayne told me it was a 6V71T.
Yeah.
So it means we got a bigger motor here.
Yeah, it's just bigger.
It's just bigger.
But otherwise, pretty much the same.
The other thing is it's a TA. TA stands for turbocharged aftercooled. So unlike an
Interesting.
intercooler, it's got an aftercooler. Like after school.
How's that work?
Smart kids. But you know what? The thing I'm looking at now that I can see the engine, do I see any leaky oil? Do I see any broken hoses?
I do.
Well, I don't see any on the like valve covers.
No, yeah, it looks pretty dry
Yeah.
in the engine, but you do have a diesel leak.
I know that. I have a very bad diesel leak.
Well, I wish I could stay and help you find out, but I gotta go golf.
All right, have fun.
All right, dude. See you guys. Wish me luck. Thanks.
Now, in a perfect world, I would have been able to do this inspection before I bought the truck, but I'm actually really stoked. I'm pretty lucky. We don't have too many areas of concern that I can see, at least by just giving it a visual inspection. We have a little bit of a diesel leak coming from some of our lines, but that's all right. Now, if I was really concerned, I would pull these valve covers off. I'd do a compression test, but that's a very tricky process from all that I've learned about these engines. So I'm glad I don't have to do that. Everything looks freaking sick. I'm so stoked that this engine isn't a total piece of shit. Now in the next episode, I'm gonna take this truck to a legit diesel mechanic to tell me how good this engine really is. But from what I can tell, it looks to be in pretty good shape and it runs really good. Plus, Wayne just changed the oil before I bought this thing. So until I can get some new fittings to fix my fuel leak, I'm just gonna change out this absolutely massive air filter. Now this is not like your normal air filter in terms of size. Look at this sucker. And move on to the next most important part of this truck, the air system. On to the next one. Big Bud here, like most big rigs, use compressed air to operate a lot of components. That means accessories, your suspension, and most importantly, your brakes. Those all run on compressed air. That's because when you're hauling big loads, you gotta have multiple ways to stop. See, in a normal car, when you slam on your brakes, you're using hydraulic pressure to get your car to stop. So how do air brakes work? Well, on Bud here, it all starts with this compressor, which is powered by the engine. Now, because the engine is always running and therefore always creating more pressure, you need a governor to regulate that pressure. From the governor, air travels down this line to tanks underneath the truck. Now on these tanks, we have a water release valve and a pressure safety valve. Your pressure safety valve is there in case your governor goes bad and you don't want your tanks exploding. But why would you want a water release valve? So if you live in a super humid environment, when you compress that air, there's water in there, right? And when it condenses after a while in the tank, it'll fall to the bottom of it. So we have a couple of valves right here, which will push all that water out when there's pressure on there. You can also do it without pressure and it'll just kind of leak out. Gross brown sludge I need a tool. Hey, Joby, can you bring me your golf club?
That's a nice golf club. Are you gonna ruin it?
Like a paintball gun. From those tanks, air travels to the brake chambers. The brake chambers control a push rod, which actuates an arm, which moves in and out of the chamber, releasing or applying the brakes. Now this brake chamber is what allows the brakes to either be on or off. Now when you're rolling and this is pressurized, this arm goes forward and it releases these pads so you can roll. When you hit the brake in the cab, it cuts pressure to our brake chamber, this snaps back into this position, and then the shoes come in contact with the drum, allowing the truck to come to a stop. So when you have pressure, your brakes are off. And when you don't have pressure, your brakes are on. Kind of opposite of how you think it would work, but the reason it is that way is in the event that you lose complete pressure in all of your braking system, these brakes will snap back to static state, the shoes will come in contact with the drum, and you can stop. Okay, cool.
Where these valves work.
So we got a lot of life left on our brake pads, and with all of our air systems working properly, I'm gonna call our brakes good to go. And that is how air brakes work. Hey, suck it. Ah! Oh, he can't hit him deep? he can't fucking blast him deep, he said. Blast him. Oh God, Chewy, come on. So not only does this truck use air system for its brakes, it also uses it for a lot of accessories like the seat, but it also uses it, which I've never seen before, as the wipers. And they're independent wipers. The coolest thing about this truck is that it has air suspension on the bed and air suspension for the cab. Let's go check it out. So like I mentioned before, this truck runs on air suspension in the rear, and the whole cab runs on 2 airbags. But it was kind of a rough ride for a while, and I was like, why is it so freaking bumpy? Well, part of it is I got holes in my airbags right here. So these things deflate after about 45 seconds, and then it just rides hard stop on this plate. So what I did is I went through all of my air lines with a bottle of soapy water, and I just sprayed it. I also did it to the rear suspension. Those bags are perfect, so I don't have any worries there. So my first aftermarket performance upgrade on the big rig is a new set of airbags. So I'm gonna put these in, and then Joby and I will be riding nice and smooth in the cab. Boom, bag out, frag out. Watch out. They don't quite fit that hole. Good pocket knife. Okay. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, go for it, pump her up. It just shot through. It's okay. Now, one of the things I may have overlooked before I purchased this truck was the tires. Now, these things are pretty old and dry rotted. They're also massive. This is a 24.5-inch rim, and these things sit at about 42 inches to the ground. These tires are like 500 bucks a piece, so I'm gonna need to change them, but I can't change them right now because that's a lot of money. So we gotta change the tires. That's to come later. Tires, check. Need new tires. I mean, we just did that. That was easy. Now the next thing on our list is the transmission. To do that, we need to go for a ride, but I'm gonna do a little pre-check here. And then we'll get to this big elephant in the room, legal.
Okay, back in the saddle again. Float them gears, Jerry. Don't grind any gear. That's a nice positive shift.
Do you like that shift?
That was a good shift. Oh, feel that pickup, dude. This thing's fast.
I keep hearing something.
That sounded like I died.
I don't know why we keep hearing that sound.
It's probably normal, right? Oh yeah.
Now this is a Fuller 13-speed transmission.
Fuller, huh?
And it has high and low gears and an overdrive gear. So you have gears 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your standard low gears. Then you have 5 low high, 6 low high, 7 low high, 8 low high, and reverse. Okay, so the way I drive this is I actually start in 3 low. Then I shift to 4. Then I go to 5 low, 6 low, 7 low, 8 low, and then I'll go 8 overdrive, which means
you gotta flip the switch, right?
You flip the switch, yes.
That's the coolest part.
So I stay, when I go from low to the high gears, I flip the switch. And then once you're in the high gears, you have a low and high version of that gear. Yeah. Now, one of the things that is hard about being a trucker is being able to float gears.
Yeah, what does that even really mean?
So it means you're doing shift changes without having to push in the clutch.
I see.
You're matching the RPMs of the engine at the rotation of whatever the next gear is, so you can just slide it in.
So when you're upshifting, say you're at 2,000 RPMs and you know it falls in at like 1,600 RPMs. So you're pulling out of, say, 4th gear, going for 5th.
Yeah.
And then you just wait for it to kind of cross that RPM threshold and just yank.
And then pull, yeah.
How aggressively are we talking?
You gotta pull pretty hard. I can only float the gears in certain gears on this transmission.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because this thing is old and it needs some like work done to it, but.
Well, I also saw a lot of comments from people that have driven these saying you gotta drive them hard, like angry. A lot of people saying that the way to get in the right mindset to drive one of these is to slam your hand in the door on the way in.
Just get pissed.
Yeah.
So for the most part, the transmission seems to be in good shape. And I admit, I still have some learning to do when it comes to shifting. But the real reason we're taking the truck out is because a lot of you guys mentioned that I might be driving this thing illegally. To drive a big rig, you need a Class B or Class A license. A standard license issued in the state of California is Class C. Now, I can drive a 2-axle truck with a GVWR of 26,000 pounds or less. Now, this truck has a GVWR of 49,000 pounds, but it's not in its original condition. So we're headed to the scales to find out how much Big Bud weighs. And if push comes to shove, I will turn myself in to the police. Whoa,
wow.
Whoa, dude, whoa, relax.
First time we got cut off.
Okay, yeah, so this was previously a 2-axle truck.
Right.
It's been converted to a single axle. Now in the state of California, you just need a basic Class C license as long as you have a 2-axle vehicle that's 26,000 pounds or less.
Okay, so this being a single axle means what?
No, 2-axle meaning front and rear.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. All I know, well, here's the thing that I don't really understand is that when I first moved out here, I had a truck that was registered in the state of Florida, right? Yeah. And I went to the DMV and they're like, you need a weight certificate. And I was like, why? He's like, because we need to know how much your truck weighs. And I was like, well, it has a GVWR of this amount. And they're like, doesn't matter. We need to see how much it actually weighs to see how much to charge you in registration fees.
Okay, this is Duquesne. You're turning right. You're good. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah.
But what I want to know now, what do you think this thing weighs?
I think this thing is going to weigh 9,888 pounds.
This is a lot of truck.
Well, this doesn't weigh very much.
It doesn't?
No, this cab doesn't weigh very much. It's all fiberglass.
It felt like it weighed a lot when we flipped it over that one time. I think this thing's gonna come in at like 12.5.
Really?
I mean, it's so big. There's so many. The engine probably weighs 4,000 pounds. Fingers crossed, because if they do it how we want them to do it, then we're legal.
Then we're legal. And we're good. We're good as a golden goose. Hey.
Yeah?
Think about how much the tires
That's
weigh.
a good point. The wheels and tires.
4 wheels and tires
Good
plus
math.
an axle.
Yeah.
It's got to be 2,000 plus pounds. What did you say? What was your guess?
12.5.
Yeah, that's a good guess. I'm gonna say, yeah, I think 12,000. 12,440.
So tell me this.
Yeah.
Do you guess that you're gonna need a CDL at the end of all this?
I don't know. Now I'm all confused.
I'm starting to think he's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna turn him in. Listen, if there's one thing we don't stand for, that's crime. And Jerry may have committed some crimes. If that's the case, straight to jail.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Official number, 14,020 pounds.
Wow.
All right, sick. Okay, so we know that now.
Yeah, so that's news.
Now, I don't know if I'm breaking the law, but the best thing to do in a situation like this is to just go ahead, turn yourself into the police, and just give a self-arrest. Just
Yeah.
arrest yourself.
In fact, all citizens arrest you right now if
Okay.
that makes you feel better.
I mean, I don't want to put you in that position because
I've been wanting to.
but I do think you should drive me to the police station.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Check us out on Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff over there. Check us out on Instagram and Snapchat.
Thank you guys. Now we got to take Jerry to the police station. We got to turn him in.
Bye. Tell my mom I love her.
Good luck, Jerry. I hope you make some new friends.
Nothing. What do you want me to do? I know snitch. I know
Jerry's
snitch,
been in
dog.
jail for 2